So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, all the lords and queens and kings of Africa, Black world. We meet today and we like to travel a little bit about Africa and his people and about some of his problems that facing the continent and its people up to date from a while ago up to date. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Vodu Solar Women Dranko. I'm an Everman. For those of you who don't know where is Everland, Everland is between Ghana and Togo, also Ghana and Nigeria today. There is a huge of land there who mobilized all the people who speak Ever. And that's why I feel myself today I'm a Everman more than Togolese. So I will proud to present myself as Everman. Okay, so Mr. G.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Jahdom Jima. Yeah, I'm a Ghanaian, and this Togolese man
Yeah,
is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we are here today to discuss some of the Obama's speeches which he had with OAU.
His last travel into Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
So these are the important things which we like to discuss now.
So
I hear the speeches, but is it right that Africans we have to sit down and have such kind of a visitor to advise us?
no, I don't think that make any sense because I think Africans or African leaders themselves keep themselves in this childhood. If not, it's not any. It make no sense that
A foreign president.
any Western leader leave his world and come to Africa and mobilize the whole Africans leaders and start telling them what they have to do. In fact, I find it very, very poor to them because I think they make themselves like that.
Yeah, really. And moreover, too, they were all invited to attend a certain summit in the White House in Washington.
Yeah.
And what came out after that summit of Africans to White House?
I don't even know what they say there. I'm less interested in. I even hate that particular thing that any Western leader just find it easy to call all Africans leaders to come to him. Do you think that any African leader could able to call all Western leaders to come to Africa to face or to sit with them and talk to them?
No.
Do you think this will be possible?
No.
Why that is not possible?
Because they feel that they are more superior than us, and we have not any knowledge to give it to them or any advice because they felt that they are more superior than us.
Yeah.
That's why they are using these kind of privileges to impose their own ideas on us.
So for instance, if somebody feels superior to you and you feel inferior to the person, is this logic that you accept inferiority to that person?
No, I have to refuse it.
So whom do you blame now between these two?
I blame the African leaders.
Thank you very much.
Who give themselves to
Thank you very much.
to be used for their political reasons.
Thank you very much.
Because African we are there before any of these people, and we are not ready to help ourselves or look after ourselves because of our greediness. I can say we have everything on our continent, but we are not ready to share among ourselves. Only few of our leaders who are using these resources, neglecting other citizens. Because of this, they normally invite these foreign, how they call it, a government to come in order that they will receive some money out of their meetings. So all these are corrupt leaders. If not because of the money that will come out, they will not attend this summit. And the money doesn't share it, equal with the citizens. They share among themselves. Obama have a long speeches which some are vital, very good, but I don't think, we have to sit and always receiving foreign ideas. Africa belongs to Africans. We know our continent. We know what is good for us. Yes, so we can mobilize ourselves and use our potential of our culture to help Africa to come up.
Yeah.
You know,
Also,
yeah.
me particularly, I have something a little bit different from your idea. Is, I think Africans leaders. My problem is African leaders, not Africans themselves. Individual, just like me and you.
Yeah.
What are we? We are nobody. But African leaders. My problem is African leaders. Why Africa? Obama told them last time that he couldn't understand why African leaders try to stick themselves to power. If their terms reach, they refuse to go out. They refuse to step down because they believe they are the only person who will solve the problem of the country. Do you think one person could be able to solve a problem of a whole nation?
No. Nevertheless,
So,
never.
So,
The idea and knowledge and wisdom is not for one person.
Yeah.
Every country has its own constitution of political government terms. Some are 3, some are 2. I think when your term is out, you have to go out for another fresh idea to come, also to share. This is the idea behind which Obama said it. It's very good. Some of them have been dictator governments. They don't want to go. They want to stick to the presidency for life, which is very bad. That let African also drift back always. We shrink back always because they are using their power to eliminate their opponents, those who are against them. This their political.
So didn't you believe, or didn't you think that maybe some of them have been also collaborate with the colonial power, the former colonial power, so that they cover the deadness of the colonial power that led them even hang on the power
Yes,
for so long?
It could be really
because they are afraid if they go out
out.
and the colonial power support them, because if they go out, this dirty they created behind should be linked later. So they prefer let them live in the power till they die, like Yadema, like how do you
Felix
Felix Houphouët-Boigny,
and
all those dictators,
Bongo,
like Bongos and Gabon, like all these dictators who die in power. Didn't you believe that maybe because of the colonial power had led them dirty themselves, create a dirty vacuum whereby when they left power, this should link out, even encourage them by putting their sons replacing these people?
Yes, the colonial power is the government, that foreign government that's drifting African behind. They are giving all these problems. It's them really, because they choose normally those who are with them, those who abide their principles, those who will be slave to them, those who will listen to them. Those people should stay in power so that they may also run through them and get what they want from the people and look after themselves. For example, in this very country, which I want to mention, like Cameroon, before it was a certain president, elected president. Then later, this man was, drifted out, and Paul Biya represent this man.
Is this not Aijo?
Is Aijo. There's the idea, the Aijo. The French supported this man until today. And the man, how many times have he been running?
I think he's now having problem with French government.
Because the cheating and the opposing of their laws and their ideas is too much now. So I think it's the foreign government that bringing problems to some of the African countries.
So simple, if we could be able to focus on this subject a little bit, we could see that the foreign government, the former colonial power, are the one who is not keeping these leaders into
power,
into childhood, make them a child the way they are now, because they are powerless. They are powerless indeed, that they could not be able to do nothing by themselves. They disempower them, or they disempower themselves by greediness. I think they rather disempower themselves by greediness.
Yes, because they don't want to go out from power.
They don't want to go
And the
out
French
of
government
power.
is the foreign government is supporting them.
Is supporting them
to stay in power.
Yeah, to stay in power.
They don't have the idea, the wisdom, the knowledge to govern. Only to stay there for the interest of the government, the foreign government.
Yeah.
Because when the opposition come, they will not get anything from them.
Yeah.
They will oppose their how they call it, their dictatorial ideas and their supremacy and all whatever. So they prefer those whom they can harness, those whom they can cheat, will always be in power. This is what. And in Africa, we can count about, say, 6 now who still in power for almost over 15 years. Above.
So they are over. They're all leading to 30 years. When you talk of Paul Biya is getting almost 29 years in power.
Sure.
And last time I watched it in television, none of them is now less than 20 years. Not less than 20 years. When you talk of Denis Sassou Nguesso, is over 20, is now leading to his 30. You talk of how do you call this? Paul Biya, we said it before. Then you talk of our leader Zimbabwe. How do you call this man? Mugabe. Anyway, Mugabe used to be a good man somehow.
Really.
He's very, very immune.
But he's also a dictator.
Anyway, his dictatorship, I like it more than any other dictatorship because it's somebody who doesn't allow anybody to tell him what to do.
But this time is over. You have to go.
But anyway,
he doesn't have all the idea. It's not the only one. There's a long breathing. They have to change the government. Really,
I support you that way.
The Zimbabweans have fresh ideas and knowledge. They have to come out and govern the country.
It's a time now for Mr. Mugabe, President Mugabe, very, very patriotic to say, okay, now I want to retire myself, and I want a very young blood, stronger. I disagree with Obama when Obama say Africa doesn't need a strong man. Africa needs a strong institution. That particular point, I disagree with Mr. Obama. Simple because you cannot take a weak man to construct a strong institution. Before you construct a strong institution, you need a strong man to construct a strong institution.
All right.
Okay.
You're right.
So if a strong man is in power, it's how it is very, very good. We need a strong institution and we need a strong man to construct a strong institution
or infrastructures of Africa.
So that is how it is.
Oh, sure, really.
I agree with Mr. So I agree with you, Mr. But one thing, Mr. Zimbabwe President, Mr. Mugabe have to do or have to started doing from today on when you hear my video is you have to be thinking about to step down, to give the power to some young, strong person to continue his dedicated to continue his work and to let Zimbabwe also have a little bit fresh atmosphere.
Yes.
But what do you think about Obama's gay rights that he said in Kenya? He said in Senegal. I think he said the same thing in Ghana. But in Ethiopia, he go away from this idea. What do you think about this?
Oh, yes, because when he said all these things, later people criticize about this idea to Africa. We are not buying it. And we let him know, that this idea is really foolish. Because Africa has a problem. And these are not the things which we are thinking about. We have many things to think of. So those ideas we are not going to buy. Africa, we have our culture. And Westerners have their culture. So you cannot oppose your culture on someone. Really. So this idea of gay rights and so on, Obama, it seems to me that is going wrong to Africa. Because if the father of Obama supposed to be a gay, Obama would not be born.
Sure.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, really.
So
that's one of his brother said last time.
So I don't think it's a good idea. Look, we have many problems in Africa. Really, many problems. Like our infrastructures, hospitals, schools, and many things. Sickness and diseases are rampant. these are the things you have to talk about. How are we going to cope to clear all these things? Medical doctors to be trained to help all these fields. These are very important things, But to go to Africa and tell African leaders such kind of things, I don't think it's wise enough. To bring such kind of
idea.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I think I share the same idea with you too.
Really?
But what's my thinking when they do a little bit divert a little bit from yours is why Obama go not into Asia continent, telling the Asians, telling the Chinese to allow this gays. Have you ever heard this before?
Never. Thank you.
Why
Thank
didn't he go to Russia? Russia, which is almost 4,000 kilometers away, or 4,000 kilometers away from America. He go not to this place to tell the Russians to legalize a gay right. Why it is only Africa?
That is why, my brother, I've been saying we have been taken to granted because we have submitted ourselves into the supremacy of the Westerners. So everybody can bring his or her own philosophy and ideas opposed to us, which our leaders have such kind of open way for those people.
Okay, thank you. Then this is the message to Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama, please, once again, please. I like your trip down to Africa. We need you in Africa. We need your ideas in Africa. But please, if Africans refuse to legalize a gay right, don't be surprised. If gays or homosexual are free, have a right to live, I think Africans also have a right, to live in an environment with gay free, to live in an environment where gay is not exist. We Africans want to live in an environment without gay. So I think it's our own right to choose that. So please accept and agree on our right. Gay are right to live as where they want. And we are right to live in an environment where no gay. So that is my message to you. What do you think about this?
Yeah, very good. Instead of to be a gay, rather I'll marry 20 women. Yeah,
You see, this is the lunatic thinking of some of the Westerners. Sure. They criticize the polygamy. They're criticizing the polygamy, taking the polygamy as a penalty into their law, allowing so-called gays life.
Imagine.
What is it not contradictory?
It's a really contradict. Look, now many countries are fighting that their citizens, their female citizens will give birth. Their citizens will give more birth. Yeah. And now the births are not coming. Yeah. Now you are introducing gay. Then who are going to replace the old ones? Why are you going to get people? Imagine.
Or is this idea that these people think that we are getting number
in Africa?
So they want to reduce our population by practicing all these gays because they is American projects for a long time. Population reduction program. It's the plan in America that they want to reduce the world population with this their so-called a new world, how do you call it? A new world order or something. It's not fucking names, not criminal idea.
Yeah.
Or this is part of this idea.
Yes.
A new world order.
Yes.
So to reduce African population with practicing, so they've been trying it with AIDS, they've been trying it with Ebola, with so many kind of disease. One thing I heard even about 4 or 5 years ago, that they be even sterilizing our females indirectly.
Yes.
They sterilizing our female indirectly.
Yes.
Whereby you go hospital, they sterilize you without your knowledge.
Really.
They've been doing all this kind of things.
Yes.
But they lie. Because they can't seal the nature. You can't cover the nature. The nature have to exist.
Yes.
The nature exists. They thought they can use all this mini idea to reduce our population, but I believe they could not.
Yes.
They cannot go away.
Sure.
So, Mr. Obama, please stop this kind of idea. Africa, we need infrastructure. Number one, Africa, we need to be free. We need to be educated to our children. We need our people to be free. We need our people to have their own independence. We need this colonial power to pull out, colonial power to go away from Africa. Going out from Africa, when we achieve our aim, we become rich like Europeans, we become rich like Americans. We think about whether homosexual would be also one option for those who wanted to do, like how Mr. President Uhuru Kenyatta said it to you last time. Okay, so please, we want you to think about this news when you are coming to Africa. I believe you will not even come to Africa as a president anymore. That one will be your last journey to Africa. And when you are coming as an individual person or civilian person to Africa, I believe you will not say this in every corner where you will visit anymore. So please, Mr. Obama, we believe you, and we support you, but don't disappoint us. Don't put us down. Don't put us down. Don't chain us in the colonial mentality. We want to go out from all this kind of thing. Okay, this is my message to you. Okay, so you African leaders, what I would like to tell you today is you keep yourself under a childhood, and this childhood go away. Stop cooperating with any foreign power that's trying to pull your people down. I see so many people complaining about so many French colonial disorders, complaining about CFA being a colonial narcissism against African country, against African French countries. But none of you cannot beat on the table and say, stop with France CFA. I'm going out. Why? If you really know that France CFA is not good for your country, go away. Stop spending it. Stop from today on. Stop spending the France CFA. But you continue spending the France CFA, criticizing the France CFA. What are you doing to yourself?
Damaging your economy more.
Damaging your own economy by supporting. That means if you continue,
French is benefiting.
French is benefiting from
it. Because we are using the sole currency.
Yeah. So if you think that France CFA is against your economy, is against your authority, is against your autonomy, or against your independence, stop using it. You can change any currency you want. You can call it African coup if you want. You can call it anything you want.
You can create your own money, your own currency.
You can create like how Ghana had it, like how Nigeria had it, or Francophone or Anglophone have their own currency, and you Francophone could not be able to go away from slave trade. Why? You could not be able to go away from your slave owner. So I'm giving you the order from today on, stop spending France CFA. Go away from France CFA. I spend no more France CFA. I spend no more France CFA. If I go, I'm going to Ghana, I buy my property, I come down to Togo, I will not use France CFA.
To buy any commodity.
To buy nothing. Okay? So what do you have? What message do you have?
Oh, really? That is a good idea. Many countries, which is Francophone countries, trying to go out. But later some of them came back. Like Mali, for instance. They went out, but French also came in and, how they call it, they sanctioned them for many things and they couldn't support the sanction. They came back to France. Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry also went out and they suffered, but they stood. But now they have their own currency. So I prefer, as what you said, that if Africans will have their own currency, it will be better and go out from their colonial masters and be with themselves. That is full independence. This is the right thing, really. As you said, we want Africans to be free, for the dictatorship of their imperial masters. Yes, we want Africans to be free. We want them to be free. So African leaders,
they must to be free. They must to be free.
Really.
The liberty of Africa is the liberty of the world. The freedom of Africa is the freedom of the world. And the punishment of Africa is going to be the punishment of the world. that I said it, it will be so. You could see how the Europeans or how the Westerners pull Africa into disorder. You could see how many people dying. You see how many people now live in Africa. We will live more. We will live more. Africans will live more, searching the fortune, searching their future elsewhere. Nobody could stop them.
Africans are coming to Europe rampant.
And they will come more. I mean, I encourage any one of them, any one of you
coming. Why? Because
who had an opportunity to come.
Why? Because the economy in Africa is disastrous this time.
Yeah.
And they say that if you come to Western countries, you achieve better than you are in Africa for 10 years. Yeah. So they are forcing themselves, risking their lives to come down to Europe, because African is being mobilized by some people whom they benefit only from the mineral resources of Africa. But the citizens of Africans have no share to eat.
Are living in bondage.
They are living a wretched life. They are not getting any share of their resources which they
have everything fucking down there.
So that led them to come down, also to find out
what they could achieve
here in Europe.
So
you see, so it's not
that's
fault.
That's what
if
I say.
Africa is a potential country, like Western country or some part of Asia countries, I hope no Africans will try to come to Europe. They'll stay on their own. Because there are some amenities when you reach some stage.
If these people stop exploit Africa, stop exploit Africa, taking away our properties, leaving our environment for us. We've been living a long time without them. We've been living for long time without their material world. Did African finish? Did African have a problem that time? No. Answer is no. They came and mingled themselves with us and bring all this disorder into our society. So when they pull out today, pull out completely from Africa, we will not follow them anymore. If anyone follow them, you shoot him, kill him. Pull out from our territory. Leave our territory quiet. They've been taking land from people, cultivating their own property for their dogs here. They took land from people in Africa cultivating food for animals. Have you heard about that?
Oh, it's simple.
How possible? Those who have that land cultivating, feeding themselves, you snap the land from them, cultivating for your own animals. And later on, you say the person doesn't follow you. They will come. Okay? So, I said it before. The freedom of Africa, total freedom of Africa is the freedom of the world. A total independence of Africa is independent of the world. And total richness of Africa will be the richness of the world. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you for sharing the idea.